Dave was very young. He was having a great time with the girls and everything on it else that was going on. You know, I mean, you could see it. I mean, he was living it, loving it.
I like to be extravagant, flamboyant and all that kind of stuff. Remember my manager bought me a sword to go in my thigh-length boots.
One of the Three Musketeers. That was a stupid thing to do, buy him a sword. I think someone nearly got killed with it at the party. But,
I mean, you had the sibling rivalry there on the one hand between Dave and Ray, which remains to this day, and that was tricky. But on the other hand, you had this conflict between the brothers and Mick Avery.
As close to them as anyone could be without being in the family, as it were. So it was, you know, probably affected me more than other people, because I was that much closer. And they'd treat you as if, you know, because you're so familiar, they treat you like they treat each other. You know?
And that possibly brought out the worst in them. I mean, it certainly brought out the worst in Dave. There were fights. I mean, you had fights in hotels, blood was spilled.
Most of their work, best work was done straight after the elastoplast had been applied in the studio, because there'd been a huge physical row about the music.
What started off as probably quite fun developed a darker side.
It was volatile, to say the least. I mean, the only thing is, how many hours sleep a night do you want? Because if you're getting calls at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, you know, that there's been a fight on stage in Cardiff.
They get on stage at Cardiff. The first thing Dave does in the opening number, he starts having a go at Mick.
Whereas I probably got through the gig under a strained atmosphere, Dave wasn't ready for that.
Then he actually kicks his drum kit over in front of the whole theatre. They think it's part of the stage act. Everybody claps and thinks, great laugh, good theatrical stunt. Then Mick emerges from his dishevelled drum kit.
And that's when I hit him with the hi-hat pedal, as he kicked him with drums all over the place. There wasn't anything else to hit him with.
Floors him. Dave's out on the floor. Mick thinks he's killed him, runs out of the theatre, mobbed by fans, and he's running down the streets of Cardiff trying to get away, because he thinks he's actually killed another member of the Kinks.
And I took fright, and I was, you know, scared, sort of killed him. Ran out of the building and settled in a cafe down the road, crying.
And he's being hunted for attempted murder, so therefore I'm thinking about getting hold of him. I'm thinking about the publicity, trying to kill that off.
They somehow have to salvage that, and everybody at the time that knew about it said, this is the end, it's the end of the Kinks. But it wasn't the end of the Kinks, and after that they go on an American tour. A recipe for disaster, or what?
Won't you tell me, where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone?
There was a tremendous undercurrent in Middle America. They loved the Beatles, yes, but there was this undercurrent of these limeys coming over here making money, you know, and we started rock and roll. Why are they doing this? And definitely with the Kinks, with our name and our attitude, because we really didn't care. We didn't have any showbiz tact, and possibly upset a lot of important people. So we got banned.
The unions didn't want us there for 3 years, and they banned us.
For no reason.
Yeah, several different disagreements, and...
I didn't do anything.
No, there was a scuffle at one point.
Oh, I did hit that guy, yeah.
It was a very tricky period for us, because we were banned from 66 to 69, I think it was. And of course, that was, Woodstock was in the middle of that. So the Who managed to gain a new lease of life by performing on that, and that opened up America for them. And whereas we were still stuck in England, we toured Scandinavia and did some stuff in Germany.
If we'd stayed in America, I think the music, I wouldn't have had that nice roll of English songs.